Hey, Dr. Amy here, and in this video, I'm showing you 9 steps to complete cancer healing. Whether you've just been diagnosed, years out from your treatment, or even if you're just worried about being diagnosed with cancer, this video is for you. Now look, if you've gone through cancer treatment, you know that you get a ton of support and guidance when you're in treatment. But as soon as you're done, you're just left to figure it out on your own. You aren't given any guidance on how to prevent a cancer recurrence. For cancer survivors, this is really hard to believe. I mean, you're grateful to be cancer-free and alive and well, but how do you make sure this doesn't happen to you again? But no one on your oncology team gives you the answer to that. You get really vague information, like just eat healthy and exercise, or give yourself time to rest and recover. And these strategies, well, they don't work. Before cancer, I'm sure you were already trying to eat healthy and exercise. So what can you do differently now? There must be something, and there is. This is exactly why I'm giving you my 9 steps to complete cancer healing. If you have spent any time researching cancer online, then you know there's a lot of information out there. And worse yet, most of it is conflicting. It's frustrating because you're trying to do what's right for you. But what's right? What's actually going to work? The trouble with advice online is that it's often extreme. Many people will have you eating no sugar, no dairy, no grains, and it's just not sustainable in the long term. It's really hard to balance restrictive eating with the demands of your work life and taking care of your family. The other problem with online cancer advice is that it's very rarely evidence-based. A lot of advice that cancer influencers give is just based off of their personal experience. But just because it worked for one person does not make that true for everyone. It's actually unlikely to work for you. Instead, in this video, I'm going to show you what has worked for thousands of people before you. What has been proven to lower your risk of cancer. We know this because it's worked for thousands of people before you. As a cancer survivor myself, after I finished treatment, I felt completely foreign in my own body. I had gained weight during treatment. My body ached all the time, and I was exhausted. I was anxious about my food, and I was terrified of a cancer recurrence. It was a horrible place to be in. You were diagnosed with cancer. You deserve to feel amazing. You deserve to truly live your life confidently after your diagnosis. But the unfortunate truth is hardly anyone is going to help you find a path to actually lower your risk of a cancer recurrence. You need to help yourself. You need to take action now. Starting with number 1, lean protein. Without a doubt, how you fuel your body, it matters. From weight gain to joint pain to hot flashes, what you eat makes a difference. Unfortunately, there's a lot of misinformation about how to eat after cancer. Some people will say to do the keto diet, and others will say to eat vegetarian. And still more people will say to avoid sugar or avoid soy. But what is the actual truth? There are a few key aspects to lower your risk of cancer. The first thing that you need to focus on is lean protein. Most cancer survivors are not eating enough protein. It's really not your fault. Comfort foods are not often high in protein. Things like crackers or toast, they're carbohydrates. They're not protein. But your body needs protein to heal and recover. It needs protein to maintain your weight and fuel your metabolism. To be free of the long chemo side effects and to help stay cancer-free, your body needs protein. And as a cancer survivor, you can still eat meat. You do not need to become a vegetarian or a vegan. You can still eat lean proteins like chicken, turkey, or seafood. And occasionally, you can eat red meat. Now, if you choose to eat vegetarian or vegan for ethical or personal reasons, then I love that for you. Let's support you in getting the lean protein that you need through plant-based sources. But you do not have to give up animal protein if you don't want to. There's a really clear reason why. White meat, like chicken, turkey, or fish, it has never been linked to increasing your risk of a cancer recurrence. As humans, we're actually much better at absorbing animal protein versus plant protein. It's true because of our evolution and our genetics is just how the body works. Now, not to say you can't get adequate vitamins and nutrients if you're a vegetarian or vegan, but it's just going to take more work. Eating vegetarian might be the best strategy for you personally, but it's not necessary if you want to prevent a cancer recurrence. So include some white meat, some seafood, and some plant-based protein sources. And occasionally include some red meat. Now, of course, the amount of lean protein you need to be targeting Well, that's specific to you. It's really important to get expert cancer care guidance to find the right lean protein target specific to you and your body. Now, because it needs to be specific to you, we can't determine your unique protein target within this video, but we can assume that you likely need to start eating more protein. So let's start here. Start by increasing the amount of lean protein you eat with each meal. You should be aiming for 30 grams of protein at every meal. Breakfast, lunch, and supper. These are foods like eggs or egg whites, chicken, black beans, or chickpeas. That brings me to step 2, eat plant forward. Now, let's clear this up because eating plant forward does not mean the absence of animal protein. Eating plant forward means that the majority of foods that you're eating are plants. And here's how to build your plate like a cancer thriver. I want you to load up half of your plate with vegetables. Yes, half. I know that's a lot, but there's a reason for this. Vegetables are packed with antioxidants and fiber, and that's exactly what you need to help recover from cancer and stay in cancer remission. Fiber has been shown to reduce your risk of a cancer recurrence. And antioxidants, well, they help restore your immune system and also help lower your risk of a cancer recurrence. Now, fiber and antioxidants, they're mostly found in fruits and vegetables. So start by building half of your plate with vegetables at each meal, breakfast, lunch, and supper. Now, breakfast is going to be the most challenging. So start here. Make an egg or an egg white omelet and add some spinach to it. Now you're eating lean protein and you're eating plant forward. On to step number 3, targeted cardio exercise. You need to be strategic about your exercise or your movement. This is one of the steps that make the biggest impact in lowering your risk of a cancer recurrence. When you use targeted cardio in combination with targeted strength training, you can lower your risk of a cancer recurrence by up to 59%. Now, a lot of cancer survivors mistakenly think that they just need to rest and recover after their cancer treatment. If they want to reclaim their energy, if they want to feel like themselves again, then they just need to rest. But this is 100% inaccurate. You need to be strategic about your exercise. Here's how you're going to do that. Start with low intensity cardio. I want you to start with gentle exercise, walking. Start by tracking how many steps you take in a day. Do that for 7 days. Just make a note of how many steps you're taking every day. Once that's done, figure out the average daily steps that you take over that 7-day period. For the upcoming week, I want you to add 500 steps. That's now your new goal. You're going to repeat this process every week until you hit 10,000 steps. But don't worry if it takes you a bit to get to 10,000 steps. This is not a race. You're still reducing your cancer risk over time. Your ultimate goal is to hit 150 to 300 minutes of low intensity cardio every single week. But I also do not want you to dive into high intensity cardio exercise. This can make your long chemo side effects worse. Joint pain, hot flashes, exhaustion, it can actually make it worse. It's also not the best approach to drop weight after cancer either. You want to start slow and steady, so start with walking. This gentle approach will help you reclaim your body much faster after cancer while still lowering your cancer risk. That brings me to step 4. Targeted strength training. You need to use strength training in combination with low intensity cardio. It's a combination of the two together that's been shown to lower your risk of cancer by up to 59%. Now, lots of women are keen to jump on the cardio part. Makes sense. We all know how to walk. We all feel comfortable doing that. But strength training, that can be intimidating, but it doesn't have to be. Strength training can be done with just your body weight. That's it. Starting with your body weight alone is a perfect place to start. Strength training should be done 2 to 3 times per week and should focus on a full body exercise. There are some people who like to train an arm day or a leg day, but that should not be your approach here. You need to focus on full body strength training with each session. Okay, next up is step number 5, cancer prevention supplements. Now, this step is not what you think. There are a lot of cancer survivors that search for this one magical supplement that's going to lower their risk of a cancer recurrence. Some pill or powder that can stop cancer. But without addressing your nutrition and the rest of these steps, then focusing on supplements will make very little impact. They're called supplements for a reason. They're designed to supplement your nutrition. So we actually need to make sure that you're fueling your body correctly before we dive into which supplements are best for you. Don't spend time or energy here unless you're confident that the rest of these 9 steps are maximized. Okay, and next is step number 6. Eat beans and legumes 5 times per week. This is a commonly overlooked aspect of cancer recovery and remission. Eat more beans and legumes. Beans and legumes have consistently been shown to lower your risk of cancer or a cancer recurrence. And hardly anyone is eating them. They're inexpensive, they're easy to make. Start by including them in your nutrition. This might be things like adding black beans to a salad or eating hummus. Maybe toss some lentils into a soup or a stew. Just start by eating them more often. Okay, and on to step number 7, avoid these 2 foods. There's a lot of babble online about what foods to avoid after cancer. Sugar, dairy, meat, the list goes on and on. It's exhausting. And it's also largely untrue. There are 2 foods that you should seriously consider avoiding or limiting. And it's not sugar. Sugar has never been linked to increasing your risk of cancer or fueling cancer. There's never been any scientific evidence on that. Now, of course, a high sugar diet, well, that's not healthy for anyone. But if you're fueling your body with healthy, whole foods, then it's okay to have a treat every once in a while. You do not need to completely avoid sugar. But the foods that have consistently been linked to increasing your risk of cancer are 2 things: processed meats and alcohol. First, processed meats. Now, processed meats are any meat that's had something done to it to change its shelf life or to change its color or its taste. These are things like cured ham, bacon, or hot dogs, or deli meat. They have been shown to increase your risk of cancer or a cancer recurrence. It's unclear at this time if nitrates in processed meats are what's responsible or if it's something else. So to be safe, it's best to avoid all processed meats, nitrate-free or not. Second is alcohol. Alcohol has been known to raise your risk of cancer. Let me give you specific numbers. We know that women who drink less than 6 drinks per week, so less than a drink a day, well, they increase their risk of cancer by about 9%. But women who drink less than 4 drinks per week, so less than a half a drink a day, well, they increase their risk of cancer by about 4%. So if you want to occasionally enjoy a drink or a glass of wine with friends, then go for it. But the more you cut back, the lower your risk. Okay, but on to step number 8, and this is an important one. Maintain a healthy body weight. Women who maintain a healthy body weight, well, they lower their risk of cancer. And look, speaking from personal experience, I know that this is not easy. As a cancer survivor myself, I struggled with weight gain because of steroids or surgery restrictions, emotional eating, or because of forced menopause. It was really rough. If you gained weight, I understand it's not your fault, but it is going to contribute to your increased risk of a cancer recurrence. The good news is that there are clear strategies to help you drop the weight. Even in forced menopause, after chemo, even on drugs like tamoxifen, letrozole, anastrozole, or exemestane. Okay, but on to step number 9, and this one is almost always overlooked entirely. Develop a cancer remission mindset. Mindset work is a key part to cancer recovery and remission, and hardly anyone is talking about it. Your mind is so powerful. Now, I'm not saying you can just will your way out of cancer, but your mindset can make a significant impact. There's literature to show that people who watched a comedy show before they received their chemo, well, they actually had higher levels of immune cells. You can actually increase your immune system's activity just by watching a comedy show through mindset. That's the power that your mind has. You need to start challenging your mindset. So if you feel like you're doomed and that cancer is inevitable, it's going to come or you're going to be re-diagnosed, then you need to focus on mindset. If you struggle with anxiety or fear of a cancer recurrence, that the cancer might come back, then again, you need to start challenging your mindset. Start here. Start by reading this book by Carol Dweck. It's called Mindset. I'll link this up below so you can find it. Okay, so now that you know these 9 steps to complete cancer healing, we need to start diving into your nutrition first. This is going to make the biggest impact. I've linked up this next video here on foods that help cancer cells die. Click the link here. I'll see you in the next video.